Hi everyone. So, welcome back to the Korean Hillbilly. I have a little bit of a surprise for you in a way. What I'm wanting to do now is so, have you ever had the thought, what would you do if you could turn back the hands of time knowing what you know now? And so I'd like to try and figure out kind of like what that would be like. And as many of you know, I wrote a blog for many years, well over 10 years. And it started in late August of 2007. Now, when I first started writing the blog, obviously I was a very different person. I was a mom of two very small children, and I was writing the blog to basically record my history, because the history that I had would be only mine, mainly because I didn't have family history before me, prior to me, to share with my kids. And so it was important for me to try and record that for them. So what I'd like to do for you today is I'm going to read my blog post, my first blog post, which was called In the Beginning, to you. And one of the things that I want to talk about is, and I may interject in here while I'm reading, kind of my thoughts today on what I said back then. So just kind of keep that in mind. Again, this is 2007, August the 26th, a Sunday. This was the blog post called In the Beginning. Okay? And I'll just go ahead and start, first of all, by giving you a little picture here. This is my parents when they got married in the 1960s. And here we go. Close to 40 years ago, my parents, after a painful stillbirth, decided to place their hearts in my hands. And so my parents then would they would send this picture to my adoption agency. I will always refer to my adoptive parents as my parents. Now, here's where I interject. I'm not sure that's what I would call my parents anymore. So just kind of keep that in mind as we go along through the years. You're going to see me kind of change and morph in how I refer to my parents that you're seeing here, and then my first family. So anyway, let's keep going. At 6 months old, I was left at Cheongyeong-ri Police Station on May 24th, 1968. No name, no information. I became the Holt Adoption Program's number 5596. I was given a name, Sukyeon Kim, and a birth date, November 15th, 1967. In the first images of me, I appear frightened. But by 9 months, when my parents received their highly anticipated letter, my photographs revealed a chubby, happy girl. And I'm going to show you just a couple more pictures. So, this is my dad when he first met me. For obvious reasons, I remember very little of that time. All I know is from photographs and my mother's recollections. I spent my first birthday away from my parents, but my foster parents were kind enough to send photographs of me on that traditionally special day in Korea. Here's a picture of my mom with me. I wore the full traditional dress, and I appeared to be walking. This fact hurt my mother deeply. I wanted to be there for that milestone, she once told me. When I was eventually brought to Tennessee to meet my mother's family for the first time, my grandmother ran over and grabbed me out of my mother's arms, saying, "Give me that thing." From that moment on, I was theirs and they mine. I became quite the novelty in the small East Tennessee town of Newport. At that time, this is my first Christmas, by the way. At that time, there were no Asians in Newport, as far as my family knew. I was just one of them. On occasions, people would stop my mother to chat about the little China doll. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. What the fuck? Okay, all right. That was me now. But this is me then. The little China doll that sat in her shopping cart, or her buggy, as we call it in the South. One woman asked in a whisper, "Will you tell her she's adopted?" My mother replied calmly, "Oh, she has only to look in the mirror. But yes, she knows she was chosen." And again, me today, chosen, not a good word. Because my parents didn't choose me. The agency chose me to give to them. So this first blog post actually was noticed by my agency, and they sent me a letter asking if they could publish the first 2 of my 3 blog posts at that time. And they did, so I became part of the propaganda. So kind of think upon that, and I hope that you'll sit on that for the next little bit. But for now, that's it for tonight. Thanks for joining me, and stay tuned.